Hello sweet souls, welcome into this video. I just took a little bit of a break on YouTube and really nurtured myself, and as I'm on this break, I was being called over and over and over again from God to start doing channeled messages, and this is something that makes me feel terrified. It makes me feel very afraid and a little bit cringe. So I am embracing the fear and I'm embracing the cringe, and I am going with the guidance that God is giving me because I know it's important to listen, and I know that there are people on this earth who channel messages from the divine, straight from source, straight from God, in order to help the people here. And I'm getting goosebumps because the people of earth really need help. We have lost our way, and this may not be everybody's truth or truth that everyone can recognize at this time. So you are going to know when a certain message is for you. A lot of channelers start their videos off with, if this message resonates with you, you're gonna know. If this message was meant for you, it's going to find you. So take the messages that resonate and leave what doesn't. You don't need to force anything to apply to you that doesn't, but stay open, because sometimes these messages are meant to awaken things within us that we have long forgotten. There is a lot of people right now who are being called, like myself, to step into a higher role, and that is their authentic self. I feel like my whole life I've been able to channel God's messages, but because that seems weird, because that is a little girl with wisdom beyond her years that doesn't make sense to people, I've learned to stuff that down in order to be accepted by the masses, in order to be accepted and loved and liked, because we need, as human beings, to have connection. We need to have community, and if we are considered an outcast, that does not feel safe. But I've been dreaming about lone wolves all week. And the reason for this is because wolves need packs. They live in packs. They have a ranking system within the pack in order to function properly. And when there is a wolf on its own, it's like life or death situation. These wolves have either been banished from their current pack and now they need to find another one, or they are leaving the pack in order to start a new one on their own. They're being called somewhere else. And oftentimes these lone wolves have two options. They either have to fight and lose when coming upon a new pack, or they become the alpha. And when you are going out on your own as a lone wolf and you're outside of communities and you don't know what's happening, there is so much power in that. There is so much power in the silence. There is so much power in the fact that you had the courage to walk away from things that were no longer meant for you. There is so much power in the fact that you recognize that you were being called to something different. There is so much power in knowing that you are being separated for a reason. When we try to force ourselves into belonging, we are abandoning who we truly are. And for you to become your most authentic self, you are going to have to learn to become comfortable with loving yourself and being disliked and possibly hated by others. And I know that that to a human can sound absolutely terrifying, because we don't want to lose the people that we have closest to us now, and we don't want to know what's on the other side. We don't know if there's going to be more connection, if there's going to be less connection, if we're going to be alone forever. And during an awakening, there is an isolation period where you have to be alone, because God is doing work on you that can only be done when you have no other influence in your life. But I promise you that there is a time where your community is going to come, but they cannot come if you are pretending. They cannot even find you because your frequency is not a match. And so being cringe, doing the things that make you feel afraid, that make you feel like people are going to judge you for, but you're being called there for a reason. That is how you find your people. You find your people when you are yourself. There was never any reason for you to ever hide who you are. Maybe as a kid you got bullied, and so you felt like you needed to always have this wall around who you really are in order to be accepted, in order to be loved, in order to be liked, in order to not be hurt. A lot of who we are as a human is these protective mechanisms that we have been holding on to for a really long time. They have been things that we have been operating in out of survival in order to be safe, in order to survive, in order to be okay, in order to be loved, in order to be liked. And I want you to know that you can set those things down, because now we are coming into a time where you are going to feel so uncomfortable pretending. You're going to feel really uncomfortable in places that you built being comfortable. You're going to sit in that and say, wow, this was at one point what was really working for me, where I felt safe, and now it is my biggest discomfort in life. I cannot remain here. And that's what happens as you awaken. That's what happens as you grow and expand, is the places that were once something that you prayed for are now something that don't fit. They are now something that you need to step away from, that's going on that path that you don't know what the outcome is. So making messages like this and trying to connect with the people who need to hear this message. I know there's people out there. And if you're watching this, thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing me to show up in my authenticity so that we can show up together. Because one person standing strong inspires another person to stand strong. And the more that we do that, the better this world is going to be. We cannot operate the way that we've been operating. We can't keep hiding from our light. We can't keep hiding from our calling. God will not allow it. The energy of this realm that we live in will not allow it. Yes, it's going to feel weird. Yes, it's going to feel uncomfortable. Yes, there are things that are going to fall away from you, because what you built in that comfort zone is like probably going to be the very thing that you need to let go of. The relationships, the jobs, the destinations, like the locations, the houses, the apartments, everything. The friendships, potentially the family. Sometimes it's definitely the family. And you have to just be okay. You have to let go and let God. The more that you fight against this, the energy that we're getting into, the momentum that's being thrust upon us, you have to let go. If you're clinging onto it, your hands are going to flippin' bleed. And you are going to be in pain, unnecessary pain. Yes, letting go is painful, but it is way more painful when you're holding on to something that you really need to let go of. It will not fit where you're trying to go. It will not fit where God is trying to lead you. And you want to go there. It's what you've been praying for. It's what you've been trying to manifest. It's what you've had in a vision in your mind since childhood. The things that you desire are not fantasy. They are yours. There's a reason why they keep calling you, but you cannot get there if you are so afraid of expanding. If I decided that I was going to sit in my smallness and not start a YouTube and not use my voice and feel like no matter what I'm doing something wrong and that nobody wants to watch these, if I imagine myself in that, I cannot reach my potential. And the life that I'm living is going to continuously push on me until I explode. And that's what I went through this last month, is I was ready to explode. The last journal entry I had was like April 2nd, and I said, like, I need a break. I am exhausted. I need to be nurtured. And so I took a month and I nurtured myself, but in a way that was so uncomfortable. I cried every single day. I pushed myself to be outside as much as possible. I did not do YouTube, which felt really uncomfortable because I was scared that I would lose the slow momentum that I had. And if I lost that slow momentum, I would have nothing. But you have to trust that God has a plan. And sometimes slowing down does mean speeding up. If you don't take those pauses and you don't take those breaks to let the energy settle in your body, you're gonna burn out. You're gonna feel like crap. And those emotions that you're building inside of you will blow. And you're going to feel out of alignment. And the only way that you can get back into alignment from that position is to still yourself. Because you need to hear and see the direction that God is trying to give you, and you cannot do that if you are busy. You cannot do that if you are consistently putting noise into your head. And so for the first while, I was nurturing myself in a way that my human needed. I was watching a lot of television. I was eating a lot of comfort foods. I was crying a lot. I was wallowing, and I allowed that. But there came a point where the noise needed to stop. So I started incorporating more meditation. I started walking in the morning so that I could have those moments with God. And the more that you incorporate the things that you need, and you know what they are. When I say that, you know what they are, because it's the thing that you're avoiding. So often when we're being called to do something different or be somebody different or step or whatever it may be, we are so afraid of what we're being called for that we ignore it. We just like turn our backs to it because it's uncomfortable. And we've built such a level of comfort here that even though it's not working, it's easier to stay there in the comfort zone than it is to leave. But there is going to be a point where it is so uncomfortable in your comfort zone that that discomfort outweighs the discomfort of moving your butt. And so you're going to have to decide at some point. And I really feel like May is bringing a big choice to a lot of us. And what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose something that isn't fulfilling you, but is comfortable and is familiar? Or are you going to choose the path, like the lone wolf, that you don't know what the outcome is going to be? Is it life or death? Is it community or isolation? Is it pleasing other people, or is it pleasing yourself? Is it being cringe, or is it pretending to be somebody you're not? Is it letting love in, or is it running away from it? Is it getting on a plane and telling somebody that you love them? Or is it staying where you are, in the uncomfortable place that you've been for a very long time, knowing that you need to do something, knowing that God is calling you because you're seeing the signs, you're having the dreams, you're watching these videos. So what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose to listen? Are you going to choose to step into higher levels? I know it's scary, but you are ready, because if you weren't ready, you wouldn't be watching videos like this. If you weren't ready, you wouldn't be seeing the signs. If you weren't ready, you wouldn't be feeling the pull. You wouldn't be feeling the fear. But remember that fear and excitement feel the same in the body. So you can change your mindset and say, you know what? I might be a little bit scared, but I am more excited. I'm excited to become who I've always been. I'm excited to not have to hide who I am. I'm excited to love myself enough that it doesn't matter if anyone else does. I'm excited to step into a new chapter. I'm excited to forge my own path. I'm excited to go against the grain. I'm excited to break some generational curses that have been holding me back for a really long time. So I'm gonna move. I'm gonna quit my job. I'm gonna get out of the relationship that is dragging me down. I'm gonna get on that plane. I'm so excited for everybody because I feel so much change, and I know that the choice feels so massive, but you already know the answer. It is the one that brings up that fear in you. But baby, it's excitement.